Okay, most online coaches and experts think they just need more people to know about them in order to grow their business. But I want to show you something really quick.
That this
Good.
method has been really nice because I have been able to open the doors for really high level CEOs like
Yes.
Finnish biggest companies or organizations.
Amazing.
I've been really kind of whoa, this is not
Yeah.
true. This is something I've been dreaming of, but they are just they are sending messages very late in the evening and saying, hey, please come tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then, yeah, I've been just like amazed that is this true? And yeah,
Right now, the problem that you're dealing with is the fact that you're having too many people that like
yeah,
way too many that you cannot handle. And that's a very good problem to have because now you're in a position where you're like, okay, no more.
yeah, and because I've sent because I was quite in a desperate mode
Yeah.
that I decided I've sent so many messages that I have even forgotten that I sent today. For example, one leader who with whom I was doing the coaching, he was sending, oh, I'm really sorry that I didn't answer to you.
Yeah.
Please, let's meet and let's chat. This is really interesting, and I'm
Yeah.
just no more. I'm not taking any more in. But there are many leaders and CEOs who are waiting my response. If
Amazing.
like Finnish Finnish leaders still.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah, it
I
is.
love that.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you were just a fly on the wall with my business partner Ore and one of our clients who is a leadership coach in Finland. And she was just talking about what happened when she turned on our systems for lead generation. Now, she is a coach who had relied on corporate contracts and some big client commitments. She had people like on retainer for a year at a time, just based on referrals and word of mouth types of enrollments from her past life in the corporate world. But Taria started working with us just a few weeks ago when she knew that she wanted to do something different this year. She wanted to get out of only corporate contracts and really start to own something, know where her next client is coming from, have an audience, actually have people like know that she exists, not just doing her work behind the scenes inside of these big corporations. So she started working with us and she's realized that leads isn't really even the biggest problem. And most coaches do just think, I need more leads, I need more attention, I need more visibility, eyeballs. How am I going to manifest, the next 10 clients? When really there are so many more questions that coaches need to be asking. And so I want to walk you through how you can actually sustainably and scalably have a coaching business that A, doesn't just rely on those big corporate referrals, and B, isn't going to burn you out. Because if you solve that problem of having enough leads, then what's your next problem? How do you fulfill? Because you can't be in person for all of those people like you might have been for your corporate clients. You can't just book more one-on-ones. You're gonna run out of energy to be on Zoom in just like hours in the day if you get a bunch of leads. So, my name is Hannah. I am the CEO of Dream Life Consulting, where we help coaches scale using our systems for client acquisition and sales. And today I want to talk to you above and beyond just client acquisition and sales because you do need to solve the problem of scalability. Again, you can go viral for all I care, whatever. Like there's so many ways to get visibility today. We use our CEO system to connect, engage, and offer. I'll link the video below if you haven't seen the walkthrough of how we use tech and automations and AI to connect you directly with your ideal clients, people who can actually afford you. And in Taria's case, people she's a little bit intimidated by, like, oh my gosh, these are big deal people now reaching out to her and wanting to work together. But there's something that happens, and this happened to me as well, even when I was just relying on referrals, is that when you have a lot of attention or people are interested in working with you, which is what you think you want, and you even enroll them, there's this energetic, it's like a butt clench moment where you realize you also have to fulfill on that. And a lot of the coaches that we work with are not brand new. They've been in the game for a while, and they know it's not just about getting the next sale, because sometimes when you get that next sale, especially if it's a client that intimidates you, all you can think about is, how am I going to fulfill on this? And I was talking to another one of our clients who's more in the business mindset space, and she was telling me how, last year she ended up getting 5 clients in 1 month. That was her biggest month, and she hated it because she just woke up every day feeling like, I have to deal with these 5 clients. Yeah, it was fun to have a 20K month, but now, I gotta show up on Zoom and do all this stuff. And she started working with us not because she wanted 10 new clients every single month, but because she wanted her life back. And coaches can burn out either on the marketing side or the fulfillment side. Now, most of the time I talk about the marketing side because that's honestly what I love. I know I'm like the rare unicorn that loves sales and marketing and copywriting and building sales arguments and thinking about like human behavior and customer journeys. But I know that's not most coaches' cup of tea. They would rather focus on the fulfillment side. So today I want to help you think about moving out of this like energetic kink that you might be doing if you just simply worry about having too many clients. One of our other clients who has been honestly drowning, okay? She's taken on credit card debt. She's had a lot of clients leave. She came to us because she was like, look, I know my business is dying, but I'm not willing to be a hustle bro. She still wants to, feel like her goddess self and have time for herself and not always be working. And I'm the same way. And I've burnt out in both directions, okay? I've had my like siesta girl phase where I just wanted to be off of Zoom as much as possible and take naps and have my feet in the sand and wait for some divine download to tell me what Instagram caption to share that might attract some client that I actually enjoy working with. Okay, that siesta girl life for me burnt me out. First of all, just so you know, you don't actually just want to sit and eat chips on the beach all day, okay? If you're anything like me, you don't just want to wait on some divine inspiration. You want to know that your business is going to survive. You don't want to feel like it's dying, even though you have time to take a nap. Like, that wasn't actually restful for me, although it did help me with my suntan. But then I also have burnt out on like the hustle bro side, where I've had 80 clients at a time. And I certainly was not trying to receive more or manifest more at that time. I wasn't even taking care of myself, right? In the other direction where I was just working too much. And so I know this is true for coaches, and this is okay. This is human. We have seasons or we have eras, tours of different ways that we just have to learn through, right? We show up in different ways and we learn what works and what doesn't work in this big game of life. And hey, if you signed up to be a coach and an entrepreneur and a business owner, you got a lot of games that you're playing, right? So this is about helping you find and calibrate a place where you can look at your coaching business and not just think about how am I gonna survive, but actually see how you can thrive and how this can be sustainable and scalable. So let's get back to it. You have the marketing side and you have the fulfillment side. And you can't really run away from either of them if you want a real business, okay? You just do the marketing side, then you are prone to becoming one of those online gurus who is all smoke and mirrors, who's really good at making reels, really good at going viral, really good at TikTok dancing. That's the marketing guru world that I don't think is in integrity because they haven't thought about the fulfillment side. Now, most coaches think too much about the fulfillment side because you guys will go make courses and programs. You have got workshops in your closet for years of ways that you can coach people, things that you can teach on, programs that you could deliver, and then just nobody knows about it. And the marketing side is like non-existent. And so the great coaches are usually not the best marketers, and the great marketers are not the best coaches. You've learned this if you've joined a mastermind or tried to take some other guru marketing advice, right? And so this is where the role of the CEO comes in, because you need to be a marketer and a coach in order to have a real coaching business. But a CEO doesn't think about the marketing weeds and also doesn't think about just being overwhelmed with Zoom one-on-ones or always making new programs. The CEO shows up and asks strategic questions. Now, I'm already sharing with you, just from my own lived experience, that asking the question of, where is my next client coming from, is not the most productive question, and definitely not the question that a CEO asks. If I could give myself advice for those times that I was crying on the bathroom floor about how much credit card debt I was in, I had my eye twitching and adrenal fatigue because I was on Zoom all the time supporting 80 clients, or the times that I just dreaded showing up to client sessions because yay, I enrolled, thank God I have a little money, but now I gotta deal with them, okay? Any of those places, the advice that I wish I had gotten or what I would tell myself in those places is, it's not about the next shiny object, because I was always looking for like the next podcast to pitch or the next webinar to host, or like maybe if I write a book. Okay, all of that, again, wrong question to ask. The right question to ask is, do I have a system for client acquisition? Client acquisition, that's a phrase that real businesses use because when you're running a real business, you don't only worry about your next client, right? You've got lots of other things to be thinking about. So, do you have a system for acquiring clients? And that's what Taria has. And that's how Taria is now showing up to her business and being like, oh my gosh, okay? She wasn't relying on manifesting them out of the sky. She wasn't chasing them down off of the street. She wasn't running ads. She wasn't hosting webinars and trying to tease people into coming to some freebie. She literally just has high performers reaching out to her. And that's because Taria asked that question too. Do I have a system for client acquisition? And if you can't confidently say yes, here's my list of prospects, and you can literally open up a software or LinkedIn or your spreadsheet and say, yes, I have proof of a system because I have people lining up to work with me, then you don't. And that's okay, right? You can watch our CEO system and learn how we build client acquisition systems. You can go Google more things on the YouTube University and try to DIY it yourself, or you can just be okay with the fact that this might not be a real business. This might be more of a hobby. And in hobbies, it's okay to just let whatever comes, and let whatever go. And if you don't feel like doing it this week, then maybe you'll do it for the 4th of July. That's okay. But if you're someone who wants a real business and wants to make coaching your full-time thing, the thing that your energy goes towards and it pays you like a full-time thing or more than most full-time jobs, then we need a client acquisition system because Taria has that in place now. And so her next CEO question is, how do I fulfill? If I have hundreds of people reaching out to me every single month, I want to be able to help them. I do want to step into this role, but it can feel really overwhelming to know how, okay? So this is where I want you to get in your coaching zone of genius and realize that you are going to have so much mental freedom when you are not consumed with the questions about marketing and lead gen and where is my next client coming from. And if you've been in that space for your entire career, as long as you've had a business, that was me for 7 years. That was all I could think about. And then the clients would come and then I would just keep doing one-on-ones and then my eye would just keep twitching, right? And so we need to balance sustainability with the right kind of fulfillment. And if you're a good coach, if you're on this side where you do think about fulfillment and you have courses in your closet, then you're gonna love this because it's actually your role. Number 2, as a CEO, number 1, do you have a client acquisition system? Because then you'll have a real business. Then your number 2 role is to think about having the best product. And this is going to be a whole nother tangent. I should record another video about saving the integrity of the coaching industry. But if you are watching this, then I would love for you to heed my call to join the movement of coaches who are actually saving the world. And I hate to break this to you because I think you're well-intentioned, but if you are simply hosting Zoom calls or texting people in some WhatsApp group or putting videos online and hoping people go through your modules, you're not changing the world. You're entertaining people, and honestly, it's out of integrity to have a coaching program that's just a course of modules or a membership or one-on-one Zoom calls or text me if you need me. What do people actually need to transform? They need a bridge. They need a proven process that says, I'm going to take you from where you are to where you want to go. And I know that true coaching can't predict that, right? True coaching, according to the certifications you paid too much money for, it tells us, clients have all of the answers within them. We just have to guide them to what their soul thinks. Well, that's not exactly true if you have an eating disorder. Like, what health coach is just gonna sit and be like that's talk therapy. And that doesn't actually get a result if you just sit and talk to someone about their eating disorder. They don't have the answer within them. You need to give them tools. You need to teach them things. You need them to leave their comfort zone and do things that they weren't thinking of as a coach. And so this is your opportunity, and this is one of the exercises we hold our clients' hands on, and we have multiple deep dive sessions with them to think about, how do you move someone from, I have a problem and I think I just need a Band-Aid or Ozempic or some quick fix, to realizing I need to invest high ticket in a 3 or 6 month program and actually transform my life. And this is where your genius as a coach comes in. And if you've had 100 clients or you've had 1 client, and maybe that 1 client was your own healing journey, I want you to actually take time and document what are the 3 to 5 main shifts that people need to undergo in order to change their life. Okay, so for fitness coaches, it can't just be biceps and abs and leg workouts. They've tried that. They've gotten apps and they've gotten personal trainers before, and it hasn't changed their life. They still have a weight problem. So maybe you need to factor in hormones and sleep and accountability and self-love. That's in the health space. If you're in the career space and you've just been, getting people interviews or reviewing their resume, and you've just been doing the things that you want to do, you haven't been guaranteeing them results. They also need to actually be connected with job opportunities. They also need to know how to negotiate for the salary that they want at the table. They also need to know how to dress and do their power pose or show up to an interview on Zoom productively. And so many coaches, I think it's this worry that their coaching industry is exploding. And there are more coaches than ever, more coaches than yesterday, absolutely. But we are picking and choosing what we want to do. Deliverables, okay? I'm the career coach who does your resume based on your human design, or I'm the health coach who also cares about your hormones. But it's all noise. And you can go out and look, okay? Just type in health coach or type in career coach or whatever you think you are as a coach. You're gonna go find 1 million of you if you look in the right places of the internet. And so the way that we help coaches think about both positioning themselves on the marketing side and guaranteeing results, actually changing people's lives, is by having them not consider themselves a coach or a service provider or someone who tracks your macros or reviews your resume, but actually someone who gets behind what is it gonna take to change these people's lives. And you don't just do this in a free PDF, right? This is thinking about, what worked for you in your healing journey? What was everything that went into that? So for me, as an example, I was a struggling coach who had so much credit card debt and no idea where my next client was coming from. I thought I should just go get a job. And I interviewed dozens of millionaire mentors and women in leadership and coaching programs, hoping that someone would help me put this whole thing together. But when I started talking to these other online gurus and millionaire mentors, they all just had a piece of the cake, and I wanted the whole thing. So I talked to people who said, yeah, we'll run ads and appointments set and get sales calls booked on your calendar. But then again, I was well, I don't just want to take sales calls and I don't want to have too many clients. That didn't make sense to me. Then I had people saying, hey, we just need to heal your money mindset. You just need to hypnotize yourself and really change that neural programming so that you start generating the thoughts within you about how to build wealth. And I was like, yeah, I don't think the idea is about getting a marketing plan for clients. Like, I've tried that. Like, I've been on the beach meditating. Like, I need more than hypnosis. Okay, then someone's like, hey, we'll do your copywriting and we'll make an amazing website so you're confident about how you look out there. And I'm like, okay, that'll feel good, but where are the clients gonna come from, right? Like, I couldn't find anyone who would show me, here's how we actually guarantee new people will learn about you, they will get educated on your value, and they will want to work with you. I needed that full solution. And then I hadn't even asked myself the question, well, how is that offer going to be? Like, how am I going to scale this if you bring me 10 clients? Like, I hadn't even gone there yet. It was only until I realized I need a full picture. And this was the hardest part for me because I'm like kind of embarrassed, kind of like, just again, wishing I could go back and mentor myself. But I literally kicked and screamed for a year and said, nobody has what I'm looking for. Nobody's gonna help me. I've been burned by these other masterminds. Like, I just felt like nothing was gonna work for me. And people had kind of tried to tell me this, but the truth is what I had to come around to was, Hannah, be the change you wish to see in the world. I was so jaded by the coaching industry. I was so burnt out with these marketing gurus. And it wasn't until I did what I'm asking you guys to do, which is sit down and think about what is everything that people need in order to transform, get the full solution. And for me, I realized, well, look, I'm pretty good at sales and I'm pretty good at copywriting and branding, but there were some things like the systems for acquiring eyeballs and getting inbound leads. I had to go outside of the coaching industry. This is where my business partner, Ore, came in. You saw him in the video, and he really owns that system. I had to expand outside of myself. I had to not just think about what do I want to deliver? How many Zoom calls do I want to have? Like, that is a very selfish way of going about this. And what I've learned is that real businesses think about how do I have the best product? And coaches have confused the idea that you are the product. No, you are creating the product. And so when I realized, okay, yes, I need to be the full solution, but I don't have all of it. I've been looking for it. This is when I brought in automations and technology from other industries and said, okay, Ore, let's figure out how to adapt these connecting mechanisms for coaches. And then on the sales side too, I was able to get some commissioned-based sales professionals to help me with some of the other sales stuff that I knew I wasn't the expert at. And I do this with clients all the time too. And so with Taria, yes, you have a bunch of people reaching out to you. You don't just want to enroll, okay, I'm gonna do everything for you, or we're gonna book one-on-ones every single week, or I'll be holding your hand. You do wanna think about positioning yourself as the full solution. And this might mean that it's a hybrid program where you have some video resources that they watch and you may have some guest speakers, right? You might be building this airplane while you fly it. I feel like that every day of my life. But at least now you're not exchanging time for money. At least now you can go to bed at night and know I'm actually gonna transform these people's lives. You know, I had a client years ago who was stuck in the one-on-one model, and she was like, Hannah, I have to admit, like, I'm not really sure what I'm selling anymore because I have these one-on-one clients, but I feel like I'm just kind of a glorified girlfriend. I come to the call every week. I don't really know if I help them. They don't really follow through, and then we have another call next week and they have a different problem, and then we're not like following through on things. And that is the trap. That is like the talk therapy trap that one-on-one coaching gets you into. And again, if that's what you want to do, go do coaching therapy. But if you want to like change lives and remove yourself from having it all rely on your shoulders, then build what we call our San Francisco bridge. How do they go from where they are to where they want to go? And you might, again, you're going to think about your own journey, and you might have 17 million things that you did to solve your problem. Or think of, if you didn't have the same problem that your ideal clients have, then just think of someone that you have helped. Okay, what were all of those things that those best clients did? And there might be 47 million things. but distill it down to like 3 to 5 pillars. Again, for health coaches, this is easy, where you realize, okay, yes, they need the fitness, but they also need the nutrition and the mindset. Or for business, right? Okay, yes, they need to like have people connect with them, but then they also need to educate them. And then they also need to make an offer and close the deal. And now for us, our CEO's system, we don't talk as much about the S, but the S is all about scalability. Then they also need to know how they scale. And to be honest, the reason why I don't talk about the S as much is because it's so personalized. This is not a cookie cutter, okay, this is the way to build a coaching program in 2025. You're gonna use this platform and you're gonna record 5-minute videos and you're gonna check in with them on Wednesdays. Like if I gave you that cookie cutter, I wouldn't be in integrity with the coaching industry either. I would just be making a coaching farm, right? Like too many chickens on top of each other. Like, I want you to be free range, okay? I want you to be someone who's out there thinking, using your zone of genius, thinking creatively as a coach. And this is the majority of the work we do in the second half of the program of the coaches that we work with. And Tari is at that exact point where it's like, yeah, it's not a lead gen problem anymore. It's a scalability problem. And CEOs are able to take that higher level view and think creatively and use their entrepreneurial and their coaching skills to be an amazing, or create an amazing product. You are not the product. The solution that you offer, those 3 to 5 major shifts, that's how I want you to be thinking about it. And then this is going to make your marketing easier because you know that you're talking about the transformation. You know the key shifts they're going to have to go through, and you just keep talking about those same things in your marketing. This also helps you not wonder, when am I going to post all of the time? If you're someone who posts consistently, I'm not. But then this also, so it helps with your marketing, it helps with your sales as well too, because yeah, people might say, oh, I want one-on-one, like how many one-on-ones do I get? But if you also said to that person, well, if I could solve your problem with a shot today or a pill, no Zoom calls, would you want it? Yeah, okay. Look, your clients also don't love booking meetings on their calendar. So this whole idea that like Zoom is the only place, or one-on-one calls is the only place transformation can happen, is such a fallacy. That's actually a place where you just keep people stuck. Transformation happens when they apply it, when they're held accountable for doing different actions in their life. So think about, what are those 3 to 5 shifts, pillars, learnings, identities, whatever, like that actually move them into being something totally different than when they started with you. And that is true coaching. True coaching is not something that you need to rely on me forever for. And let me just keep you entertained on our next session. And hey, do you want to buy another 3-month session just to keep going? With what? With what? You want people to graduate and have the skills and the tools to live an abundant life, or keep the weight off forever, or run a sustainable business even without you. So this is your invitation to think about scalability from the fulfillment side. And number 1, remove yourself, okay? It's not just about you and your time that you exchange. What are the tools? Maybe there's a person, someone else you need to loop in, right? To make it be a full solution that doesn't rely on your energy, that doesn't rely on Zoom meetings, that doesn't rely on, okay, let's just keep going for 3 more months. But you can be in integrity and know, I can bring people in, move them through a process, and know they're going to be different at the end. And most coaches can't actually say that because they haven't taken time to think about fulfillment, just because the gurus and all the noise on the internet has sold us this idea that marketing is the only thing that matters. Not true. You can automate that stuff. Again, go watch the CEO video to see how we get new people in and overwhelm Taria with the next problem, which is, how can you fulfill sustainably and in integrity? This isn't cookie cutter, but this is the fodder I want you to take to the beach, take into your week, and come into, the week with the frame of a CEO. So when I was doing this, I didn't have all the answers right away, but I did have some one-on-one clients. And so I just started documenting the things that I repeated a lot. I'm like, man, okay, I said this 3 times this week. Like, maybe I should record a little training or make a little worksheet so they can do that and then report back to me. And then I saw what they reported back to me. And you know, in coaching, that clients do have really big insights inside of them. So I would see what they did, or I would see how it worked, and then I would iterate. And then I would say, hey, maybe you need to meet with my business partner, Ore. Like, let's get him looped in on this. And so what we have now is what I call a hybrid leveraged program, where people have many Power Rangers, not just me, but there are, you know, systems and AI and team members and resources in our library and a Slack community and other people in the program and masterminding and accountability and like all of the things that I knew I needed, I wanted, but no other program was offering in my niche. And then this makes you easy to position and sell on the marketing side, because you aren't just every other business coach or career coach. You're something that actually transforms lives. And just saying you're a coach, or saying you do resumes, or telling people to count macros, that's not what changes lives, right? So in order to scale your coaching practice sustainably, you need to get some mental real estate to think about fulfillment creatively with your zone of genius, so that we can all get this industry back into integrity of really changing lives and not just giving people Band-Aid solutions that sometimes puts a really bad taste in people's mouth, and why we're getting a bad rap as, you know, coaches, right? They're just magicians, or they'll just charge you $5,000 for a bunch of BS. Like, please stop doing that. I want us to be the respected thought leaders and change makers and consciousness risers that we are. And we've gotten really distracted with marketing and sales and money and tech and hashtagging and blogging and just like not the things that change lives. So I hope this helps you see that you can start thinking more like a CEO and think about scalability, sustainability, bigger level questions than just, where's my next client coming from? We can help with that, but I want you to be in the position of abundance, of using your magic and your genius for good, for transformation, for saving the lives that need you.